What is up, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with a man that really doesn't need no introduction, and you all know him well. Your personal favorite of the Seahawks YouTube world, Mr. Norb Norb Cam. Norb, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sam Dog. Thanks for having me on here, man. It's fun to be talking Seahawks football again. I feel like we've been in kind of hibernation mode for a while, but can't believe football games are starting up already. It's awesome.
Yep, we've been waiting for this to get back in the stadium for a long time. But first, we start off in Sin City, going down, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders in the first preseason game of that. And this is eye test number one, as me and my dad would call preseason. It's an eye test. And we want to basically talk about what we're hoping to see from some of these rookies and some of these new guys, and what we hope to see out of the pass rush, the offense, and what we're hoping to see. First off, I think we should start off with the obvious one. What we're hoping to see is how productive can the Shane Waldron ran offense be with Russell Wilson, this time playing under new coordinator Shane Waldron, and then see what effect Gerald Everett, newly acquired Seahawk, formerly of the Rams, can bring. So what else are you hoping on that, Norb? The tight end sets too?
Well, what I'm interested in seeing, I have mixed feelings going into this preseason. First of all, I feel like the Shane Waldron system is this magic secret weapon that we've all been waiting for. And while I want to see what it looks like, I also don't want them to show everything they got early in the preseason. Typically in preseason, they have things a little more vanilla. They don't give away all their tricks because obviously they don't want everybody to see what they're planning to do, especially when they finally hit the regular season. So something tells me we're going to get maybe Shane Waldron light. We won't get the full buffet spread, but maybe just a few elements here and there. I don't think a lot of our starters are going to play. I mean, the injury thing is kind of concerning too. I mean, besides the obvious holdout news with Jamal Adams and Dwayne Brown, we're missing a lot of guys. Like, we want to see Rashad Penny get out there, so Chris Carson doesn't have to do too much because he probably won't play much, but Rashad Penny is injured. So that means Alex Collins will probably get some carries, which I like that. I like that fact. But, I was hoping to see some of these receivers, because we know what DK can do. We know what Lockett can do. But who's going to be that number three? Is it going to be Penny Hart? Is it going to be John Rasua? Is it going to be some other guy that we haven't really thought of?
Freddie Swain.
Freddie Swain, but some of these guys are, Penny Hart's banged up too. So I feel like we're just not getting to see all of our depth because we're missing the depth with these injuries. So I'm just right now hoping that we have enough healthy guys to field the team, in 3 weeks. And we have this short preseason and only 3 games. So they're going to have to do their figuring out pretty quick with only 3 games instead of 4,
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning, especially also with Ethan Posick being injured. I've been listening to Seahawks Brendan Nelson on his channel talking about Ethan Posick's injury and maybe possibility of seeing Phil Haynes taking snaps at center. I've heard Phil Haynes has been taking a lot of snaps at center. I know Damian Lewis has taken snaps at center before too. So I'm concerned.
Plus, Kyle Fuller, isn't he the other guy who's sort of vying for that position as well?
From what I heard,
so again, a lot of question marks, especially with Dwayne Brown holding out. And then we have so many guys at left tackle who are also injured. So who's going to be back there? Who's going to be protecting Wilson's blind side during the preseason? And how much will they put him at risk during the preseason when things don't matter with an offensive tackle who knows, it might be like 3rd, 4th string, So it's a little concerning. I'll be interested to see how they play this out because I know they don't want to risk anything, injury-wise. But at the same time, these guys got to get some quality reps against real teams. So, it'll be interesting to see how they manage this thing.
Yeah, another thing is, when will we see the first draft pick that we drafted this offseason in Dwayne Eskridge? We know he's been having that ongoing toe issue. I've seen him run camp, and then I've been watching a little bit about from what Brendan Nelson was saying with his toe issue, like it was something also to do with one of his shoes. And hopefully we see him in like either, if not this week, maybe we see him in the second one or maybe the third game. But also, other than that, we play the starters for maybe one series, maybe, because we don't want to risk any injuries to guys like Russell Wilson, DK, Lockett. I mean, obviously, we're not going to see a lot of the starters at the preseason. Some starters don't even play the preseason, which would be obviously don't play Jamal Adams during preseason and don't play like Dwayne Brown during the preseason. But we got to get those guys taken care of. And I was talking about a Seattle Times article talking about the possibilities of Russell Wilson, hearing that he was willing to restructure his contract so the Seahawks can get a deal done with Dwayne Brown and Jamal Adams, which we as fans have been wanting Russell Wilson to make this deal happen for a long time, to restructure it, to start, making Tom Brady like moves. And that would be a good start to do that. But another thing is Dwayne Brown, he ain't young, man. He's getting older, and
he'll be 36. Yeah.
I thought I heard 37. That guy getting old. We just got to do something to, make sure he's still a vital part of the offensive line. And we definitely are going to need him this season. But hopefully with the little time we have left with him, hopefully he can mentor Stone Forsythe. And I want to see what Stone Forsythe can bring to this offensive line, along with newly acquired Seahawks via trade from this same exact Las Vegas Raiders team we're playing, Gabe Jackson. What Gabe can contribute to the offensive line. So, and then, of course, we're going to have to see a bunch of the guys that we haven't really gotten any other good looks at, from the undrafted free agents, because with having 3 picks in the draft, this was one of those years where we're going to have to strike it big with the undrafted free agents. And I'm really hoping to see a lot out of these undrafted free agents. Another undrafted free agent I'm going to be keeping my eye out the most for. It used to be Tamorrion Terry until he got indicted for murder, but Kay Johnson from South Dakota State is one particular guy I'm excited about. And I think he's got number 83. I mean, correct me in the comments later on after this video is posted. But Kay Johnson from South Dakota State, I'm really hoping can be a big name in the slot. And I remember watching Steezy's video of him talking about how he could possibly be another Doug Baldwin, but obviously we won't know that till we get the eye test. Another will be the Sumner boy who played at Stanford, Connor Weddington, 253 represent. Going up to 253 at training camp. Let's see what he can do. And then, of course, you got other offensive linemen that are undrafted, like that guy from Canada, Lestage. And who else do we have that's undrafted that we got out of the undrafted free agents? Then I know we got like some pass rusher from Cal. Another thing, obviously, O-line.
Don't forget Aaron Fuller, UW product. He's in the mix in that receiving group. That is, a lot of names in there that we'd love to see playing the preseason. I'd like to see, because I feel like the perfect way to get the Waldron offense tuned up a little bit without giving too much away would be to let some of these younger guys, these backup receivers, get into some of the rhythm and flow while we have Lockett and DK, not taking too many reps, and then also getting a chance to see what they can do. Because I've been wanting to see John Ursua get out there and see what he can, make a name for himself. Because this is kind of his time. If he's gonna find a place on this roster, this might be his last chance. So I'd love to see him find a way. But there's a lot of competition right now at that 3rd and 4th spot.
And then Aaron Fuller is probably once again giving you Kason Williams vibes again, which obviously you know how that went last time.
Right. We get teased a lot by the Kason Williams thing, and sometimes it looks good, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't quite pan out the way we are hoping it will. But you never know. You never know when we might find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I mean, we found a diamond in the rough with Poona Ford with an undrafted free agency, and look how much of an impact he's had in the pass rush. We got to definitely be looking on that pass rush to be getting a lot of pressure and getting a bunch of sacks. That's another thing. Most importantly, O-line protection, and then, of course, pass rush. Those are 2 keys that I want to see, because also pass rush helps make the job a little easier for the secondary when you're getting pressure, and they also help force the quarterback to throw the interception. So we got to definitely get back on that and see what kind of dogs we got, either undrafted or drafted. And plus, I want to see what Trey Brown can do for us and see how he could transition coming from Oklahoma. And I heard he's been playing super aggressive in camp, and same with Akello Witherspoon, who we acquired from the 49ers. I've seen Akello make 2 good plays at my last training camp day when he made the stop on DK and break it up the touchdown pass to Gerald Everett. I'm really looking forward to see if we can possibly have that cornerback position fixed up, because that's been a concern of all Seahawk fans during this offseason. What were we going to do for the cornerbacks position?
Well, we got some options now. DJ Reed while he's been a little bit banged up too, not practicing a lot. I've got high hopes for him. He's kind of been the guy that I thought after seeing him last year how well he performed. He's a little dude, man. Seeing him at camp, it's like he looks small on TV and he looks pretty small in person as well compared to like when he's standing next to Witherspoon. He definitely towers over him. But I like the way he plays. He's just a playmaker. He's quick and not your typical Seattle corner, but I'm hoping he can get on the field. And of course we got Marquise Blair, nickel corner, Ugo Amadi. So we got some names in there that I feel like these guys are ready to come play, and now we just got to have a couple other names just pop up there and really step up. Trey Flowers, you're talking about the other Trey. We got Trey Brown, who's making a splash as a rookie, but Trey Flowers, man, that this is kind of his end of the line too. It's like, well, if he's going to find a chance to get a starting spot, this may be the one time he's got that chance to do it. So, hoping he can step up and be what he was his rookie season. I remember he was really good that rookie year, and it seemed like after that there was just a lot more complaining about him not making plays and giving up a lot of balls, and that Packers loss in the playoffs felt like it was a Trey Flowers burn clinic, but hopefully he's stepped up his game since then. But yeah, man, I guess I'm kind of nervous just with all this uncertainty right now. Uncertainty with one of the most important players that we have with the Jamal Adams deal. What do you think's going to happen there, man? It feels like we're close, right? The Seahawks have kind of said they've got that number. What is it, 70 million? Is it 70 million? 4 years? And like they're not going to budge. But his camp, Jamal Adams' camp, wants a couple more, and there's some language that gets to be hammered out. I don't know. You feel like it's going to get done? That we're not going to have to be sweating this and start before week one?
Let's be real. We didn't give up 2 first-round picks just to not re-sign the guy.
Well, who's going to blink though, right? You got these 2 guys that play chicken, and the 2 cars are heading right at each other on the road. At some point, someone's got to swerve. Yeah. Someone's going to have to pull off and go, okay, you win. Well, who's going to be the one to blink first? That's the big question. Whose side's going to blink?
It definitely ain't John Schneider. So hopefully Jamal's the one that blink and just take the damn deal.
I know. It's like, come on, man. It's a lot of money. Just take it. You're young. You have plenty of years. You'll have another contract. We make even more money. So all about the money. But yeah, we get that one done, and then we'll see what the Dwayne Brown situation is. That's a tough one too, because like you mentioned, his age, he's up there, but yet of the linemen, it feels like he's still one of those solid guys that is going to be at least good for another year or 2. I don't know about anything longer than 2 more years just because of the age situation, but they haven't even talked about negotiating with him until they find out exactly what Jamal Adams is going to need to be happy. So, but then on the other side, we got Russell Wilson publicly saying that he wants Dwayne Brown back. So now you got that end of it where, as we all know, the whole controversy in the offseason was keep Russell happy, right? We want him to stay in town. If we do that, we got to make sure Russell's needs are met. Well, if one of his needs is Dwayne Brown, well, now what does that mean for the bargaining and the negotiating situation? So very interesting times right now, man. So much uncertainty, but nonetheless, I'm excited. I'm excited because it seems like this is always the Seattle situation. You're never feeling like everything's 100% perfect. There's always something going on. There's always some little bit of controversy that you're not quite sure about how it's going to resolve. Seattle always keeps us on the edge of our toes. The games are always close. And yet, even like last year, man, we won the division, home field, home playoff game, and unfortunately just ended on a sour note. But I think they're ready to turn that thing around and undo that bad taste we had last year at home. Plus, we weren't there, right, Sam Don? We weren't there in the house. That was the problem.
I was outside the house with Big Low, and
I know that. But we didn't get to be in there. Now we get to return and be there, and I think that'll make a big difference. That stadium is a totally different place when you don't have fans in there. So I'm glad we have that to our advantage, and it is a huge advantage.
Now they got to face the 12s again, and that's definitely why I'm anxious to get back to my seat again, and hopefully my corner too. Even if I have to, still shout out the players and get them fired up from a distance, which you are not gonna freaking deny me of that. That's all I'm gonna say. They will not deny me of that. I'm in my corner regardless before those games.
They just probably won't be coming up to you and high-fiving you, is my guess, but they'll still hear you, I'm sure.
I'm all right with that. But other than that, though, it's just, I think Wilson needs to make that Tom Brady move if he really wants to have Dwayne Brown back, and of course to help out with Jamal Adams. And obviously we don't know what KJ Wright at this point, also free agent KJ Wright's going to do. It's between the Raiders and the Seahawks, so he could go to either one of those 2. But For me, though, personally, what I mentioned, pass rush and O-line protection is what I'm going to be looking for in this offseason, especially also seeing the rookie Stone Forsythe to see how much of Dwayne Brown's brain he could pick if he's able to learn from him, even with Brown not playing in the preseason. But Wilson definitely needs to restructure so we can get it done. But
my understanding about the restructuring is that I do believe the management could actually do some restructuring of Wilson's contract without actually having to even get his permission. They can make some changes to it without actually Russell being the one to do it. They just haven't pulled that trigger yet. It's my understanding anyway that that option is there. They just haven't chosen to do it yet, and they historically don't do that type of situation. But I think they have done it on a couple of occasions. But we'll see. I mean, this Jamal Adams thing is the first of the dominoes to fall, right? So they got to get that one, and then everything else goes. So we'll get there. I'm optimistic Schneider will find a way to get it done. He always seems to. But, it's just a matter of hopefully we just don't have a big ego holdout type of situation. That would really suck if we had something like that. Don't want to go through that Earl Thomas or the Cam Chancellor from a few years ago. That was not fun when that was going on. That did not work out very well.
I also like that time about Marquise Blair possibly taken in for what he's going to do in the secondary. Obviously, I think he would be good maybe in the nickel corner, or is that Ugo Amadi I'm thinking about, which Ugo Amadi was coming on pretty big for the Hawks last year. I like how he's making plays at the ball last year. I definitely want to see, but most importantly, we need Marquise Blair to play a full season. It was just unfortunate when KJ Wright was going in on a tackle and Marquise Blair was just in there at the right
wrong place, wrong time. Yeah.
Yeah. And KJ didn't really have to go for that tackle and basically cost Marquise Blair's season last year in week 2 against the Patriots. And I remember Blair made a good play on the fake punt against Atlanta last year when he forced a fumble. Blair can make the plays and he's a hard hitter, and we're definitely going to need him long-term. Just cannot afford him to get injured. I want to see if he can still bring some of it, but just not playing a whole lot, since he's probably going to be most likely being one of our starters in that secondary. Hence, you cannot chance the injuries. But I'm going to be looking out for him. I'll be looking out for Ugo, see if he can continue some of his momentum. Just not a whole lot of it since it's preseason. No risk early on started.
I think for me, what I'll be watching for, definitely the offensive scheme. I think it's preseason is so hard to tell because no one's really playing their A players, so it's hard to tell whether are they really rushing are we really seeing their full-on pass rush to test our line. The line probably won't be our actual line once the game starts, so you're kind of seeing that not real reality test, but what we can see is a sample of what the tempo will be like. What will the play formation? How quickly will Russell or whoever quarterback is back there get rid of the ball? Because I feel like if this really is this faster pace offense where the quarterback gets rid of the ball in quick timing, maybe we don't need that long protection. If Wilson's designed to get the ball out of his hands in like 2 seconds, they don't even have to block that long, and that's hopefully the beauty of the Shane Waldron system is supposed to be that it's the timing and it's quick, and Russell won't have to worry about getting sacked because the ball is going to come out fast.
Yep, I agree with that, and that's one of the other things I'm going to see is how fast will Waldron be having the quarterbacks get rid of the ball. And I've been saying it for all of Russell Wilson's career. His biggest flaw his entire career is he holds onto the ball too long. Hence, he takes some unnecessary sacks. And me and my dad have been saying that pretty much his entire career. And that's one thing.
Well, and exactly the flip side to that is some of the most spectacular plays we've ever seen have come from the times when Russell Wilson holds that ball and starts running around, like a circus ringleader back there, making all kinds of crazy stuff, and guys just start playing backyard, football, and we see some amazing plays. So you take the good with the bad. We just know that Russell's not getting any faster. He's not getting any younger. So he's not going to be able to escape and run around like he used to because Father Time is slowly catching up to him. So, he's going to have to be able to, if he can't run away from it, he's got to throw it out quicker. So I think that's why it's meant to be.
And then another thing is this, though, instead of going for the long ball on 3rd and short, I kind of like how, the Packers, how they beat the Rams. They just went with, running the ball, and then they went with the quick short plays to like the tight end and the receiver. Like did the short plays, and the short plays eventually set up the long plays, do some of those quick short plays, especially on 3rd and short.
Oh, yeah. There were so many times when it was like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. I'd say, okay, get 5 or get 4. Just get the down +1. What are we doing throwing the ball 10, 15 yards down the field when all we need is 3? Just get what the defense gives you, and let's get first down and keep moving. And I'm really why I'm so excited about this whole Shane Waldron thing is because we've been watching San Francisco and particularly the Rams for several of the last few seasons, watching them just nickel and dime us and going, man, why don't we do that to them? Running back out of the backfield. Why don't we do that? That works so well. Let's just do that, and for whatever reason, we just hadn't. But maybe this is finally that time when we will get to see some of that nickel and dime action with an occasional Russell Wilson deep throw. You just kind of short thing here, short thing there, little run here, and then all of a sudden, boom, 30 yards.
Just a well-balanced attack, just like what Green Bay did against the Rams when they beat the Rams in the playoffs. I just want to see that well-balanced attack. And plus, another thing I'm excited about is I want to see Waldron running 2 tight end sets with Everett and Disley. And then we also got to see what Colby Parkinson can bring in year number 2. And Parkinson's a big boy. And I heard Parkinson been killing it in camp from what I've been hearing too. I heard he's making some plays in camp.
Yeah. The big guy, tall reach, kind of Jimmy Graham-esque in terms of his ability to get up and get that ball before anybody else does, just because he's so tall and got such long arms. So between the 3 of those guys, all of them can catch. We know that Disley can block. Everett is pass catcher. He can do some blocking, but he can also play like a receiver too. So between the 3 of them.
What I like about Everett is he's really good at yards after the catch. And I saw a good example of that from the night that we honored Paul Allen, and Gerald Everett was killing us most of that game until Zerline missed the kick. But Everett was breaking tackles and getting a lot of yards after the catch. And that, when we brought him in, was one of the things I was very excited about, was how good Everett was with the yards after the catch, breaking those tackles and just getting
as much as I don't like feeling like we got to steal from our rivals to get better, to heck with it. Who's still their passing game coordinator and their run game coordinator turned into our offensive coordinator, and we'll steal a tight end while we're at it. And that's got to be a good fit. That's 3 guys who don't have to spend much time getting on the same page because they were already on the same page. We just got to get everybody else on the same page. So I expect Gerald Everett to have a huge part of this.
And then the Colby Parkinson thing, like I was mentioning for Colby Parkinson, Stanford University is NFL tight end factory.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, he was there last year, just didn't really get a lot of opportunities, but this year is one of those, he can really step up now that we've got, kind of a new core of tight ends. This is a perfect time for him and Everett to just go off from the tight end standpoint. And I'm pretty sure that this Shane Waldron system is going to make really good use of the tight ends. So I'm very excited to see what they can do. And we haven't even talked about special teams, probably because we don't need to, because we've got the best special teams crew, the tandem of Michael Myers in the house. There's a house of horrors for teams trying to go against special teams, because James Myers was perfect last year, and knock on wood. Michael Dixon, of course, doing what he does, got paid this offseason. So, I mean, can't remember another time when we could not be happier with the kicking game. It's been a while, right? It's been a wild ride over the last few years, but this is about as good as it gets.
And a punter, I'll tell you what, is a good defender too, with the way he pins our opponents close to their own 1-yard line, and that's also a good thing to have too. But let's just see what happens in eye test number 1. We got 3 more eye tests, and 2 more eye tests after that, which we actually
only 2. Yeah.
Two we get to be at, 1 we have to watch on TV. And I don't know, do you think we pretty much covered all the basics of what we want to see and hope that we get for this team in the eye test?
I think so, given how many question marks there are. Hopefully by the time we get to number 3, there'll be a lot less question marks and a lot more exclamation marks of things to get excited about. And I just hope we're still not talking about Jamal Adams and Dwayne Brown in 3 weeks' time. I don't know, now that the preseason is something totally different. Before it used to be the 4th preseason game was completely a write-off. There's a chance to see who makes the final squad, but nobody of any value played. But it was always that 3rd preseason game was like the dress rehearsal. So now that there was only 3, I wonder which game is the dress rehearsal. Is it going to be number 3 still, and they just don't have that garbage game? Or are they going to make number 2 the dress rehearsal, and number 3 becomes the garbage game? I don't know. I hope it'd be cool if it's number 2, because number 2 is the first game we're going back to, so against the Broncos. So that would be fun. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be granted, it's preseason. Normally, when you go to a preseason game, everything's kind of toned down. The house is not quite as full. But something tells me that this preseason game is going to be a little more special, just because it's our first time back.
We want to be home. We want to be back to our home away from home, and we all got to be back in our home away from home, Norb. We've been waiting too long for this. We've been outside for way too long. I mean, granted, I was watching most of the home games outside at a hot dog food truck. Alex Gourmet, man, get a hot dog from Alex Gourmet. The guy's the man. He was a great host for me and Big Low and Eddie Taylor and a bunch of other 12s that were outside watching the games and then greeting players on their way out after that. Those were fun, even though we were going through that pandemic. And hopefully, yep.
That's cool. That's cool that you were still at the house, even though you weren't in the house. But now we will be in the house. So, yeah, no, it's gonna be very fun. You know what's fun about this time of year? The one thing I do like about the preseason is that there's only a few games that we get to go to where people are wearing summer clothes. You know, so the lady 12s out there show up in shorts and tank tops, and the guys are wearing shorts, and that only lasts for like a couple of games. And once we hit September, man, suddenly it turns fall, and boom, the temperature just seems to go, and then it's like, oh, where's my jacket? Where's my sweats? Where's my jersey? You know, so it's I gotta appreciate these preseason games for that aspect, because it's a little bit of summer. Yeah, no shorts at the games. You don't get to do it very long, because man, come November, December, whew, it's nippy out there. So
all right, now I need a vote off, even in the comments, and even from you, Norb. I need to know, what should I wear to the first home preseason game against the Broncos? Should I wear the throwback jersey I just had made from my buddy Marlon? Should I wear the other one I had before Pete gave me, or should I wear the current generation number 2 jersey that my friends gave me for my birthday at the Super Bowl? I mean, because I'm not gonna wear the one that Pete gave me to the preseason, because that bad boy only comes out during regular season. So.
Well, then it sounds like one of 3 has already been decided. So I would probably say, I was going to say just go in chronological order and break out the new one at the regular season. But since you already made the declaration that you only wear the Pete Carroll one at the regular season, I'd say, well, flip it around. I guess since it's the first time back, wear the new one and debut both at the same time. So wear the old school throwback one for game 1 preseason, and then wear the other one for the second game. That's what I would do. Since it's the first time back, it'll be that feeling of first time. It might as well be the first time to wear that jersey, first time back in 2021.
Yeah, I was wearing the jersey when I did my last little live hangout that I was doing too. But also, yeah, I was going to say, Norb, before we end this, you need to hit up my buddy Marlon, buy yourself a throwback 12 jersey, and then you got to get yourself, we need a Norb Cam throwback. Hold on, let me grab my thing really quick. All right.
That would be pretty cool. I don't have that. I've only got the modern jerseys, personalized.
Yep.
So Marlon hooked you up with that, huh?
Marlon Smith hooked me up. I just bought the jersey in the pro shop. It was originally a old school. Obviously, it was a 12 with the 12 fan on the back, you know. With the
oh, so you bought a jersey and then he just did the modification?
He did the modifications.
Okay. All right.
Get one in there. So my recommendation for you is go get one, and then go to Marlon or whoever you know that does jersey modifications, or maybe just have them modify the thing with the 12 and say Norb Cam on, just like what you got current jersey.
Now you should maybe put Marlon's link in the description if he does this for the general public. I'm sure a lot of other people might be going, I should do that. How do I get a hold of this guy? Well, so you should put that link in the description. Maybe it is.
MAR Productions on Instagram, and also, I will post a link to that in the description of that. But other than that, though,
there you go.
Other than that, eye test number 1 this Saturday. I will be going live with Dallas Stewart, watching the game on the StreamYard when the Seahawks take on the Las Vegas Raiders from Allegiant Stadium. Shout out to Kenny Burns and Greg Woodfield are actually down there going to the game. But
nice.
You know how we got to do it. Sam Dog, Norb Cam. We about to sign off. This has been a Norb Cam, Sam Dog, the infamous 253 collaboration, live from the 253 and the 206. I mean, not really live, but you get what we're saying. But anyway, we're about to sign us off, saying the usual thing that we do on my channel. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always,
infamous.
And as always,
go Hawks.